What is up, geeks of YouTube? I am Damien.
I am Tracy.
And welcome to our fantasy life. This week on the Geek Weekly, Pokemon GO gets 2 new evolutions and more.
Devil May Cry is coming to Nintendo Switch.
And tons of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 news, more than we've ever had before. So stick around. And last but not least, a little giveaway action.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that in a minute, but the Geek Weekly starts right now. All right, so something that's right up our alley. I feel like we say that every week, though. It'd be weird if we talked about something on the show that wasn't up our alley.
Right.
We're like, so in political news this week. But anyway, so something that is really up our alley is Pokemon GO has a major leak this week. Did you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So there was a data miner. His name on Twitter is Charles.
Is it Charles or is it? I think it's Trolls.
Was it Charles?
It's Charles.
I assumed it was a typo.
Yeah.
So Trolls.
Trolls Xavier.
Trolls. So I guess he data mined some new lures coming to Pokemon Go, so we can finally get Glaceon and Leafeon in Pokemon Go.
We're one step closer to that all EV team.
There's new lure modules. So there's going to be a glacial, a magnetic, and a mossy lure module.
So I think I can figure out. So the glacial and the mossy, I think I can kind of figure out there.
Yes.
What's the magnetic lure?
So the magnetic is for Magneton. And who was the other one? It was...
So the glacial... Well, and that's interesting. It's interesting that they're using the lures as also evolution items.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think they've done that before, right?
No.
Yeah, before all the evolution items were evolution items only.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's pretty cool.
But maybe they're making it more of a community thing. So if someone sees it on there, everybody can go there and
evolve it. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And does it say how... I'm guessing they're going to be in like raids and whatnot?
Oh, I'm not sure yet.
Okay, so that hasn't been revealed yet.
No.
So we just got the data on them. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Because nothing's been announced for it.
Okay, cool. So that's exciting. So we have 2 new evolutions, which means they're... And it seems like the generations are going pretty quick. They're on Gen 4 already.
Yeah. With
like Azelf and the other... Because our region was Azelf, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, which we can't find anybody to raid with, so we're not really sure. But yeah, so Azelf was here. Yeah, Gen 4 Pokemon. Awesome.
Yeah. So also Detective Pikachu. Which comes out on May 10th.
Yes.
I'm super excited for it. We already have our tickets for it.
We were so excited for this film. Now, as you can see from our... We'll link both of our trailer reactions up there in a little card. But we weren't taking the movie quite as seriously as we now are. So like you said, we already got our tickets. We have our little Pikachu plushie. We got the Detective Pikachu amiibo. We are ready to show up for this movie.
So in Pokemon Go, there is a Detective Pikachu event going on right now.
Nice. Okay.
So if you end up taking a snapshot using the camera, he can photobomb your pictures on there. And then
you got one already.
And I already got one.
Yeah, nice.
And then he'll appear. So right when you exit. So I got a little confused, like how it does it, because I've never done like the pictures before. So I looked into it, and so after you take the picture of your Pokemon, you see him that he has appeared in your picture. Then you can go ahead and exit that picture, and then he pops up.
Yeah. He's super cute.
He's
got his little detective hat on, his little Sherlock hat. Yeah, he's super cute.
I took some pictures of that.
Also, so you looked at the Detective Pikachu one because it was already going on. Last but not least, Community Day is May 19th, and it's my favorite starter, Torchic. Yay!
You love
Torchic. Yeah. All right, and in more exciting Nintendo news, you haven't played Switch Online very much.
No.
Oh well, so this might not be as exciting for you as it is for me, but the Nintendo Switch Online has May game updates. So 3 new games: Donkey Kong Jr., Clue Clue Land, and Versus Excitebike. Which brings the total of games up to like 40, I think, for what, $30 a year, something like that.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like the selection that's on there, but for me, once you have Zelda, Metroid, and some of the original Mario Brothers, that was it. That was all I needed. And then all the rest of it is just like, okay, I'll check this game out. Star Tropics was pretty good. I remember playing the heck out of that game when I was younger, but I never got to finish it. So I'm glad it's on the Switch. Still no word on Super Nintendo games for Switch.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a note of that specifically because we still have no word on whether or not they're coming. I think they've said that they want to bring Super Nintendo games to the Switch. but I don't know what the holdup is, and I don't know why we're getting this like little trickle of games, 2 to 4 at a time.
Yeah.
Seems very slow. Now, the one thing I noticed about these May games is they do kind of lean heavily into the multiplayer of Switch Online, which I think they're trying to kind of show, like, hey, there's also a multiplayer component, so please buy Switch Online.
Yeah.
Even though it has millions of subscribers already. So, yeah, just a quick little update there. Donkey Kong Jr., Clue Clue Land, and versus Excitebike. Not the most exciting games out there. Donkey Kong Jr. was kind of fun, but
I'm sure there's someone out there that's excited for
someone's excited for Clue Clue Land. You know, there's like one person out there that's like, Clue Clue Land, yes! What do you guys think? Are you guys excited about Clue Clue Land? Let me know in the comments, because I definitely want to meet you. I had never heard of that game before. I'm going to be 100% honest. I had literally never heard of that one. But Excitebike I had played. Donkey Kong Jr. I'd played a little bit, but Clue Clue Land?
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, never had seen it before. It looks fun, though. It does look fun. Next news item here is way bigger news for something coming to the Switch. And do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so Devil May Cry is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, so it's big, but it's also kind of sad.
How is it sad? Well, how is it big, first of all?
Oh, it's big that it's actually coming to the Nintendo Switch, because it's the first time a Devil May Cry has ever been on a Nintendo platform.
Which I somehow didn't realize. Like, I guess because I always had multiple consoles. I guess I just never realized that it didn't come to a Nintendo console. But yeah, this is the first time it's on a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
So yeah, good catch there.
You want to hear the sad part now?
Yeah, what's the sad part?
It hasn't been updated.
So it's not the HD remaster. We kind of noticed that in the pre-show. So they did an HD remaster for PC. I'm so surprised that this is not the HD remaster.
I am too. So basically it's the same as the PlayStation 2 version back in 2001.
And the graphics do not... So normally, as you know, I'm all for updates. I'm all for remasters on the Switch.
Yeah.
Especially if they're like complete editions or trilogies or like 10-10-2 where it's multiple games. I love that. Just bringing a port of the PS2 version straight to the Switch, I don't know how I feel about that.
It's kind of depressing. Yeah. So it didn't get any love except for being ported over to the Nintendo Switch. So...
Yeah, that's so that feels kind of especially when we're talking about, you've still got Bayonetta, you've got Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta 3 is coming out sometime this year, and I feel like they've kind of taken that Devil May Cry action game style, kind of the crazy huge combos and stuff. I feel like they've taken the game genre way further. So for them to release this now, yeah, it's exciting that it's never been on a Nintendo platform before, but I don't know. What do you guys think out there? Is this exciting? Or I haven't seen a lot of people. I've seen some people excited that it's coming to Nintendo.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of people specifically excited that it's Devil May Cry and it's not the HD remaster. And then also we haven't heard price. I mean, if this thing's $30...
or when it releases.
Or when it releases. Yeah, they just sort of said summer, like sometime in the summer.
But then not even just the graphics. It just didn't get any more perks, like how we talked about for the Final Fantasy X not getting any perks, where other games are getting... like added bonuses and all this extra stuff for it, or skippable cutscenes or whatnot. But nothing. So.
Wow, that's so interesting. Okay, I guess I keep calling it a remaster. It's not a remaster. This is a port that I'm just not super excited about, even though I kind of like the Devil May Cry series. Yeah. I guess I'll just wait for Bayonetta 3 at that point. Yeah.
Right.
So, for those of you who subscribe to Game Informer, which you can pretty much only get through GameStop, and they try to stuff into your cart on the way out these days, if you shopped at GameStop, you probably have a Game Informer subscription, because they ask you like 30 times per visit. Love you, GameStop. But if you have Game Informer, then you probably already know this, but Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, there was a huge feature on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 in this month's Game Informer. All kinds of news, plus 2 new character reveals. So, did you ever play the Ultimate Alliance games?
I never did.
No. They were good. I played 2 a lot more than I played 1. I played some 1. I've definitely sunk some hours into 1. 2 was just phenomenal. So it's been about 10 years since Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, but in I want to say 2015 or 16, I started playing Marvel Heroes, which was kind of a spiritual successor to Ultimate Alliance, because it was that same top-down art, like a kind of isometric view RPG, almost like a Diablo type game. And then they canceled that. So I was like, oh, well, that's it for that style of game. But no, they shortly after that they announced Ultimate Alliance 3. And it's been rumored, the details have been kind of scarce since the announcement, but this month we got a huge info dump, plus the reveal of Hawkeye and Miss Marvel as playable characters. But I mean, we're talking about a game that already has Captain Marvel, Wasp, Hulk, Iron Man, Wolverine. Like, it's got all the Marvel staples. Now, the story, are you familiar with the story at all?
Not really.
Okay, so just to catch you up a little bit here, the story, it kind of matches up with the MCU Infinity Saga. It's Thanos and the Black Order trying to find the Infinity Stones. The difference, though, is that it's more based on the comics than it is the movies. So you see Thanos and his Black Order in their original looks. Wolverine's got his original blue and yellow costume. Hawkeye looks kind of like a hybrid between the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the comic universe. So it's more kind of a love letter to the comic fans than the MCU fans. But I'm sure they'll bring in. It seems like they brought in Peter Quill. He's got his movie costume.
Oh, that's awesome.
Rocket seems a little more like the movie version. So my hope is that they're just taking the best parts of both and bringing them together. But I've been waiting for this game for a long time. So any tidbits of information that we get, I am all for. Now, the one thing that excited us, something that we talked about in last week's video, couch co-op. You can actually play this game with up to 4 switches, and everyone has their own screen. So it's taken kind of couch co-op to the next level, even where it's that ad hoc multiplayer that we were kind of promised in the original Switch ads. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Where they showed like 2 people playing on their Switches and they each had their own screen and stuff like that. I know like Mario Kart has it and stuff like that, but this is kind of the first game where it's going to be really deeply integrated into the game. So that's exciting. Yeah, so we'll have a link down there in the description. But yeah, the 2 biggest pieces of info were Hawkeye and Miss Marvel, confirmed as playable characters. A little more story reveal. We still haven't seen too much gameplay yet, but I am excited for this game, 100%. And last but not least, well, second to last, because we still have a little giveaway to do at the end here, as I thank you for 250 subscribers. But we'll get to that. Keep watching. Don't skip ahead. You have to watch the whole thing. There's no way to check that.
We'll know.
Right? We will know if you watch the whole video or not. But anyways, our second to last little item here is a U.S. senator has introduced a bill that would ban the sale of loot boxes. So, yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So there's a U.S. senator. His name is Josh Hawley. I hope I'm saying his name right. So his bill, otherwise known as the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act.
Dude, the bill is longer than most game titles. Like,
that is a long name.
Yeah.
So,
and there's no acronym. Like, usually they have a cool acronym.
I know.
There's no acronym.
I was typing it in, and I was trying to think of an acronym for it. I was like, it doesn't even sound cool, though.
No, there's no... Come on, man. If you want to get a bill passed, you got to have an acronym. All right. You got to contact Senator Hawley here and work with him on these acronyms.
Right? So his major focus is to ban loot boxes and pay-to-win microtransactions in games that are, geared towards children.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not only children, but I mean, most people play all the games now as well.
Yeah.
Because the one that he cited, which I know was huge, which thankfully I never got addicted to, was that Candy Crush Saga.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
I know
everybody was talking about Candy Crush here and there.
Dude, yeah, and paying to like get the levels or whatever.
Yeah.
I literally never played the game because I saw how addictive it was.
Yeah.
And this is another problem that I have with loot boxes, not to interrupt your story, but keep that train of thought. The addictive qualities of them, these companies know that they're making addictive games. They prefer if the behaviors are addictive because they want you like the fact that these notifications pop up. They know exactly when to reward you. They know exactly when to tell you, hey, come back to the game and get this free, I don't know, whatever coin or whatever. They know they have the timing so perfect to get you back into the game and get you back into that addictive cycle. It's almost like gambling.
Yeah.
But the problem is you don't actually get anything for it.
Right.
I think that's my other problem with loot boxes is not only are you paying for what you should be playing, you're not actually getting. And so like for Marvel Heroes is a perfect example. If I had spent a bunch of money on the game for skins and costumes and loot boxes and experience boosters, and then they just decide to shut down the servers.
Yeah.
Okay, where did all my money go? I have literally nothing to show for my money except a few memories. That's about it. Which I want something for my time. That's
Yeah.
why we have so many physical copies back here. That's why we love the collector's editions. If we're going to spend money on a game, we want a little something for that game, like for that time, I guess I should say.
But you hit his point, like, exactly.
Oh, did I skip ahead again?
Pretty much. You took, like, everything. So
Maybe I should run for Senate.
There you go. But I'm going to quote him here, so I'm going to be reading from this. But I wanted to pull his quotes directly from it because he does make some really good points.
Okay.
So he's saying, social media and video games prey on users' addiction, siphoning our kids' attention from the real world and extracting profits from fostering compulsive habits. So he does mention, like, gambling habits.
Compulsive
like
habits, yeah. Yeah, he makes a good point.
Yeah, and he said there's no excuse for exploiting children through such practices. When a game is designed for kids, game developers shouldn't be allowed to monetize addictions. Game developers who knowingly exploit children should face legal consequences.
Yeah, so this is one example. So, we joked about politics earlier on, but we are seeing a much more prevalent stance from politicians as politicians get younger and younger, right? And as more of our generation sort of gets into politics, we're seeing politicians that understand games, that understand technology, that understand these things, and are now starting to legislate around it because, Senator Hawley, I don't know how old he is or whatever, but he might be a gamer, so he might have hands-on experience with this and be saying like, oh no, wait, this is bad, So I'm all for politicians understanding the stuff that they're trying to legislate.
Yeah. I mean, the only part that really gets to me was that first part of the quote where he was saying pulls their attention from the real world.
Yeah.
Maybe they like gaming more than they like, going out and spending money on something. Or,
Yeah, I agree with
whatnot.
that. Especially as gamers ourselves, I agree with your take on it.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's what I would hang my hat on in saying we need to ban this because it takes their attention away from the real world.
Yeah.
I think I get what he's driving at, and I get that to get the votes for it, you probably have to be a little more extreme. But I would have backed off of that language, I think, yeah.
Well, yeah, just because that's a little strong right there, but I see where he's getting at. So my guess is he's going into that loot box thing where you're just, like you were saying, you're playing hours and hours and hours and hours into something to get something that is not real.
Right.
When you could just be playing a story that has a great storyline. And then there you go. That was your reward. You get this fulfilling story.
Yeah,
it's kind of
narrative-driven games.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Surprisingly, this isn't the first time that the state has tried to get a bill passed for this.
Okay, interesting.
So back in February, there was a Hawaii senator who, his name is Chris Lee. He put forward a bill. He's trying to limit the sale of video games with gambling-like mechanisms to people under the age of 21.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense as well.
That makes a lot of sense. If habits start early, so.
Right. And I mean, it is gambling. Like I don't, and when we say it's gambling, like a lot of people get up in arms because they want to make these distinctions between winning money and winning product and things like that, and these virtual loot boxes. The behaviors are the same.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay for us to say, no, this is gambling. Let's talk about how to protect our younger folks, protect kids and young adults from these addictive behaviors.
Yeah.
Now, if you're an adult, and once you're an adult, you do whatever you want with your money at that point. You know what I mean? If you want to throw all your money away on Candy Crush Saga or whatever.
But it's still not fair that they're doing this to you.
It's not, but at that point, you're an adult and you have to make your own decisions, right?
Yeah.
We've protected you as long as we can. If
Hopefully.
you're a 40-year-old man or woman and you're spending thousands of dollars on Candy Crush, like, I don't know what to tell you at that point. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell the guy at the pachinko place or at Las Vegas gambling, like, whatever you want to do with your money, like, that's fine.
But
at that
still,
point.
shame on these corporations for playing into us like that.
I mean, corporations are machines designed to make money. So if they see an avenue to make money, and this is the part where we do kind of stray into politics, because I do think that it is partially the government's responsibility to step in and make sure that they are making that money ethically. So yes, we can legislate and say, hey, if you're under 21 or whatever age we decide on, if you're under that age, you need to be protected. If you're over that age, you should be able to make your own decisions on these things.
That's true.
But then we have to go to the companies and say, now, from the company's perspective, they are giving you something, right? Yeah, but they're making it they're having you jump through these certain hoops to get it.
Yeah.
But in the same way that a Las Vegas casino or these online gambling sites or anything like that, or these poker things and stuff like that, it's gambling, and as long as you go into it knowing that it's gambling. That's the part where I have the problem with, is when the games don't advertise themselves as gambles.
Yeah.
They advertise themselves as like, hey, it's this fun, free-to-play game. And then, they've got, like this game I play, Marvel Future Fight.
Yeah.
You could spend, there's one package in there that you could spend, I think it's like $199 or something like that for these gems to buy. And again, it's that randomized, it's that thing where you're on the hamster wheel, Yeah. So anyways, I didn't mean to turn that into a mini rant, but I agree in the sense of we do need to more responsibly legislate this kind of stuff. I disagree with them in saying, that kind of language where they say games are bad and it takes you away from the real world. Sometimes that's kind of the point. Like, I mean, movies take you away from the real world, right? So, I don't know. It's a tricky issue, but on the basics, I agree with both of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think there is a fine line there where we can't have the government really stepping in and being like, no, you can't play this, like, for shame.
And you're talking about at all.
At all.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, 100%.
So it's like if we push too much, that might start happening, and then people are going to be pushing back, and then gaming companies are going to be pushing back, and I think it's just going to be an entire mess.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, there is the potential for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I do like, though, I like that we're having the conversation.
Yeah.
Because loot boxes have gotten way out of hand.
Yeah.
And they have just been pushing and pushing and pushing. There's the famous, $9.99 for horse armor. There's been some really, really bad, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, yeah.
That was a whole mess.
Yeah, it was.
They were so deeply ingrained into the game that removing them actually broke the game at launch, and they had to scramble to fix it.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 has some coins that you can buy or something like that with the Eververse. Yeah, loot boxes have just become loot boxes, and any kind of paid DLC has become such an integral part of gaming that it's like, I feel like it's a detriment at this point. They are designing games around monetization.
Yeah. You can't even buy a game anymore and just have the full thing. There's always going to be something extra that you can buy.
And that I hate that too, where they design the game and then they remove stuff and charge you for it later. I think most Nintendo games get it right. Like the perfect example is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
That's my perfect example of how to do paid additional content perfectly.
Yeah.
The game was so good, it made me want more, and I was totally comfortable paying for it.
The game was so complete. There were so many hours to that game.
Yes. That's what I meant to say.
If the game's complete already, then I don't mind buying some extra DLC. Yeah. But then when you have something like, sorry, Final Fantasy 15, you're getting called out on this. But when you release something like Final Fantasy 15 and then release all the DLC for it, that's the part that I'm mad at.
Yes.
I paid it. I paid for it because I wanted that story.
Yes.
But I shouldn't have to after we waited so long for it.
Yeah.
And they messed up the story themselves in the first place.
And they even admitted they needed the money to keep going. I'm like, well, I don't want to fund a beta game, basically. One of our YouTube channels that we watch pretty frequently, The Night Sky Prince, he did a really good sort of farewell to Final Fantasy 15 and called out in his video that it was a broken game at launch. It was not a complete game, and they charged us and they made us kind of part and parcel of finishing the game because they needed more money. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I understand the realities of how much money it costs to make these things. But sorry to say, that's not my problem. That's not my. I just want to play a good game.
But they took 10 years on it in the first place.
Yeah, how much time and money do you need?
So they created the whole game. Apparently, this is the whole conspiracy thing on it. Is they created the whole game. Then the director or the higher up or someone's like, no, we don't like this game. So then they got rid of that guy.
Yeah.
And then they brought someone else in, and then they completely tore the game apart, remade the game super fast, and then gave it to us broken.
And again, none of that is our problem.
Yeah.
We just want to play a completed narrative driven game.
Yeah.
All this this is what happened behind the scenes. Sorry, I don't care. That's not my problem. My problem is I'm spending $60 and I'm not getting $60 worth of game.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I don't want to harp on that too much.
Anyway, everyone's waiting for the special announcement here. And we just went on some long tangent.
But but I feel like this is a big topic. So this one we really do want to hear from you guys and gals in the comment. What do you think about loot boxes? Do you care? I know a lot of people don't care. A lot of people think that loot boxes actually do add to games. And there's a big percentage of people out there that feel like, hey, if you've got the money and it's not, if it's just cosmetic items or whatever, go ahead and enjoy it. I think it's all bad, and I think it all needs. We kind of need to draw a line in the sand here.
I think it is because they get you with these games. They're free to download for most of the mobile ones, and then they just smack you in the face with all this stuff.
That paywall. You hit that paywall hurts, man.
I'm still thinking about Darkness Rises. Like,
oh man, that was such a good game.
I haven't deleted it from my phone, so it keeps popping up with notifications, and I keep wanting to log in, but I've been so good about not logging in for the past 4 months now.
Oh my goodness!
Haven't played it.
Yeah. Because you hit the paywall, or
yeah, there was a slight paywall. It's just and I just realized how many hours out of my day it took up.
Yeah, that's another part of it too. Is these mobile games they incentivize playing more instead of playing better.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Are you for or against loot boxes? Do you think this bill? We'll link to Senator Hawley's bill, and you guys can read it for yourself and let us know what you think. Really, sort of interested to see if this goes forward, because this is a big industry. There's a lot of money floating around. The games industry, I think, is going to start pushing back on some of these bills. So now, last but definitely not least, we wanted to say thank you to all of you who have signed up and who are now our subscribers, down there hitting us up in the comments. You guys are letting us know what you think. We really appreciate that. That's partially why we started this channel, was to get these sorts of conversations going, not necessarily to make our channel the hugest channel out there or make a bunch of money or anything like that. We really just wanted to build a little community of people that are like-minded and that care about stories like this. We are out there, so we definitely appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. We are 10 subscribers past the 250 mark, so sorry we're a little bit late there. But Tracy, do you want to let them know what the giveaway is?
So the giveaway, what do they have to do to earn it?
Oh, that's a good question. We should tell them what it is first to get them excited.
Okay. So the giveaway is, do I have to keep doing this? Turtle Beach headphones for the Nintendo Switch.
Woo! Yeah, these are actually really nice.
They're gorgeous. I actually kind of want them.
So make sure you sign up quickly. Otherwise, I think Tracy's going to take them. But the way that you can earn these is down in the comments. Just comment what your favorite Nintendo Switch game is. That's all. Let us know what your favorite Switch game is. If you want to tell us why, that's awesome too. We're going to be reading out some of those comments next week on something that we're going to call Fan Friday. I know, very original title. But make sure you subscribe and make sure that you let us know in the comments what your favorite Switch game is. And we will judge based on what our favorite Switch game is. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be totally random. If your answer is anything other than Breath of the Wild, sorry, you are disqualified. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, let us know what your actual favorite game is, and it's going to be completely random. As long as you have a comment and you're a subscriber, you have a chance to win a pair of headphones here.
And you like the video.
Yeah, and you like the video. No, do we want to make them like the video? Yeah, like the video. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, all three. Like it, comment, and subscribe. And hit that notify button while you're at it. We're going to check. I don't know how we check that. Anyways, it's getting out of hand, but I'm excited because this is our first actual giveaway. So somebody's getting a really nice pair of headphones. So Tracy, what do they have to do again?
You have to like, you have to comment, and you have to subscribe.
And you have to hit that notify button, even though we can't check. So hopefully somebody out there wins. We don't have a ton of subscribers, so now is the best time to get in on these giveaways, because later when we have 10 or 15 million subscribers, it's going to be much harder.
That is it.
That's a very optimistic estimate. Yeah. PewDiePie, we're coming for you, man. Maybe we should hit 1,000 first before we get that optimistic. So, so Tracy's been holding these up for a while. So, so like, comment, subscribe, hit that notify button. What is your favorite Switch game, or whatever else you want to tell us about this week's episode? But make sure you comment that favorite Switch game. So, thank you guys for joining us again. I have been Damien.
And Tracy.
We already said hit that like button, so I'm not going to do it this time. We will see you next time on the Geek Weekly. Thanks.
Bye. People don't want to hear me coughing.
Just turn away from the mic. Sometimes I move my mouth away from the mic to cough.
Yeah.
Chocolate rain?
No.